Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule the Galaxy fans. This is DDoc right now, 30 minutes late from the start of showtime. A joke that always goes on with Rule the Galaxy podcast is that we're on DDoc time. And lately, Brent has been replacing me, though. Brent has been the late one lately, and he can attest to that. But tonight, I'm really late. So,
Yeah,
to
you're setting a
anyone,
new record tonight.
yes, to our hundreds of thousands of fans that were waiting for the live stream, with bated breath to start just to see what me and Alfie are going to be saying tonight. I'm sorry I was late, but we're here for you. So, as you heard me say, I think this is the first time ever. It's just me, DDoc, and Alfie tonight. So, Alfie, what's
I
going
think
on?
so. Oh man, it's a little wild here at the Molinaro house tonight. I really didn't think that this was going to work out, but somehow it did. I apologize if you hear a lot of background noise, but I've got a house full of kids that are ready to hit the road tomorrow, hit a water park for the weekend. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's a little chaotic.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a little traveling too. But I think we're not leaving till later in the week because the 4th of July is on Tuesday,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
Well,
be heading to water park too.
this is Taylor Swift weekend for us. So I was originally just going to drive my wife and daughter to Cincinnati and then drive home tomorrow night. But we decided to make a weekend of it, and we're going to spend the weekend at Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh man, see, I just drove by a Great Wolf Lodge this past weekend. We were in the Poconos, and dude, their Great Wolf Lodge. I've been to the one down in Williamsburg. The one in the Poconos is freaking insane, dude, and they're adding an addition on it. Like it's crazy. I'm like, it's how do you even need more rooms on it? But somehow they're adding even more. It's absolutely insane. So those places are fun. There's always something for the kids to do.
Oh,
Those are
yeah,
the
it's going
kind
to
of
be a good
places.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the kind of places we're just looking for all the time now, honestly, when it comes to family trips and everything. Because I don't know, you have fun with the kids doing it too. So yeah, I mean, we were chatting a little bit before the show, but as far as Star Wars news and everything goes this week, it's like kind of a slow week. I mean, well, I heard from you that there was people trying to spread rumors that the Acolyte was canceled today.
Yes, I have been reading these rumors for a few days now, and they're not to believe. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not a chance. There's always a small chance that stuff gets canceled, but this is coming from very unreliable sources, and why people still push from this certain website, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for it to be canceled at this point, I mean, from what I understand, this show has been in the works for a long time, and I mean, they've wrapped filming on it, right?
Yeah, I think so. It should be at some point, depending on the strikes and stuff. It should be in post production, I would think.
See, I'm just so confused with everything now with the strikes and everything, like with what has been like completed as far as like
Mm-hmm.
show writing goes. And like, I mean, because I don't know. It's very confusing to me. I mean, I'm sure I hope it'll get solved soon. I mean, I'm
Right.
sure the writers should probably make some more money or whatever. Like, I don't know the details of this situation, honestly. Like, I've heard of like I don't know what to say, like, oh, like, they should just work or whatever. I really don't know. Like, that's the thing. I haven't looked into it, but it does like scare me to think like with this writer strike going on, I mean, new stuff probably isn't getting written for a while now. Like, right? Like, it's been going
Right.
on for months.
It seems that way. Um, yeah, because at some point in during Mando season 3, they were talking about the rush to get season 4 written before this happened. So yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, does this have any effect on Andor at all, or is it like it's
Uh, Andor, Ahsoka, and the Acolyte, I think, all got their scripts done. But where this has it, you basically can't go back and do any rewrites. So there won't be any chance to do any pickups or secondary shoots, things like that that may be done after the main filming is done. So
interesting?
I think, yeah, it can have an effect on things that are pretty close to being done. I mean, if you think about it, if you watched like any of the behind the scenes of the Lord of the Rings, they talked about how that was being rewritten every day, up until the end. So that takes away your ability to do that.
See, like, what's funny is like me not fully knowing the process of filming. It's like I almost imagine like someone doing a scene and the director just being like, "Hold on, say this instead." You know what I mean? Like rather than like there being like, we need to write this differently or whatever. I always just pictured some things happening on the fly. But like, I guess maybe if there's a writer's strike, are you even allowed to do that technically? Because it's not like written. Like,
it doesn't seem like it, because a lot of what I read about Andor season 2, I think Tony Gilroy was going to try to work around it since the scripts were done, but he faced a lot of criticism because he is part of the Writers Guild, I think. And they're like, well, you can't honestly say that you're not going to do anything that is going against what we're striking for.
Yeah, going against the guild. Once you're a part of a guild, you can't turn against the guild.
No, you can't.
That's a serious guild is a serious word.
Unless you live in a right to work state, I think.
Okay. See, I don't know anything about that either. I have no clue.
No, Pennsylvania is not a right to work state.
I don't know.
Indiana is. Basically, in Indiana, you can opt out of a union.
Okay. Interesting.
And not face any discipline or what's the word I'm looking for? You can't be punished or fired.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, we'll see what happens. From what I understand, like, I don't know. We saw that a bunch of actors are getting involved now too. So, it took them a pretty long time, but I'm sure something's got to give at one point. So hopefully it'll.
I mean, I have a hard time with, actors doing that. I mean, we're not in the days of, like Jurassic Park and Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump all being in the theater at the same time. The blockbusters are pretty few and far between, I think.
No, that's definitely true. That's a hell of a lineup, actually, to be in theaters.
Yeah, I mean, look it up. That was like those movies were all out at the same exact playing at the same time.
Which is funny because I have a list of some things I did want to talk about, and Jurassic Park has to do with one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. I over the weekend I watched. It's one of the things on this podcast. We always joke around because Joe just brings up random movies sometimes. And no offense, Joe, but 90% of the time I've never heard of them before. Now, Sleepy Hollow is a movie that I have heard of, and I never watched it before. But Joe said Ian McDiarmid was in it, and I watched it this past weekend. Monday, Tuesday, actually, it was. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Have you seen Sleepy Hollow with
I'm looking
Depp?
Okay, I was getting ready to ask if it was the one with Johnny Depp. Yes, it's been a minute since I've seen that, but yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, it was really interesting to watch Ian McDiarmid in it because he pretty much looked like like the Sheev Palpatine episode 1 character, where like at that stage in his life.
Right.
Which then again, that was filmed in 1999, and episode 1 was probably filming like right around the same time.
Yeah, you would think so. Well, episode 1 came out in 99.
Did it come out in 99?
Yeah.
That's when Sleepy Hollow came out, from what I read online. But the cast for that movie is loaded, and the Headless Horseman was badass in it. Gets a little strange towards the end with the witch and stuff like that. Like, there's
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a little odd. But man, it was a fun movie to watch. I mean, for 1999 film, as far as the computer graphics go or whatever, the scenes they had, it had to really be a horseman riding on the horse for a lot of them, because it was just badass the way they filmed it. It was a Tim Burton movie, so it had the typical Tim Burton vibes to it, you know,
Right.
like. But it was definitely fun to see Ian McDiarmid in a different movie because honestly, I don't know that I've watched anything that he's been in other than Star Wars, really.
I know I've seen that movie, but I would never like associate that if you were to ask me for his filmography.
Yeah, there's like, you know, in Sleepy Hollow, there's like, you know, like the leader, like the head guys of the town, technically, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the guy who played Dumbledore after the first Dumbledore passed away. So it's
Okay.
the guy from the Harry Potter movies. It's the guy who plays Mr. Dursley from the Harry Potter movies, Harry's uncle. Uh, it's the guy who plays the principal. I don't know any of their names. It's the guy who plays the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off with the red hair.
Yeah.
That guy. And then Ian McDiarmid. They're like the main guys of the town. And a lot of people get their heads cut off in that movie.
Yes, they do.
So it was definitely fun. So when it comes so beyond Sleepy Hollow and movies that Joe suggests, I have another one that was on the list from when we were at ICCC, which is the one with Steve Martin and Ian McDiarmid, which I gotta watch that one. Joe's probably saying the name of the movie right now as he's listening to this in his car or whatever, but that one's on the list as well. So as far as Star Wars news goes, what was the one bit of James Mangold info that
Okay.
come out?
Yeah, he's been linked to a Boba Fett movie going back, to the times of Rogue One, when Rogue One was so successful in the whole idea of we could just do these spin-offs. He was attached to a Boba Fett at one point, and it was really kind of not clear if he was or he wasn't. He's always been wishy-washy on whether he was or not, and now he's come out and said in an interview that he was making much more of a borderline, these are his words, rated R, single planet, spaghetti western Boba Fett film. I'm not sure if it would have ever happened.
It would be freaking awesome, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
See, that's a question for you. Like, is it okay for Star Wars to breach that like Deadpool area where like Deadpool is still a Marvel movie, but it's like this is this section of Marvel. Like Logan is a very violent, movie. It's rated R, but
Yes,
it's a Marvel movie.
it's an excellent movie.
Yeah, it's incredible. Both of those are examples of incredible movies that are geared towards older adults, and they're like I don't know. See, they're fun movies, and seeing that type of action and craziness makes for a fun movie theater experience. I mean, could Star Wars ever go there with something,
I don't see why it couldn't. I have a hard time saying that Disney would rather than could. I think there's some really good, I would say like borderline, suspense, thriller, maybe slight horror type of stories from the EU that I think would make great one-shot movies, especially the Death Troopers book about the zombie virus. I think that would be a killer movie.
It would be awesome. It would be freaking awesome. That's one of the few EU books that I've actually read too. So like that book was great. It was suspenseful. I mean, the way the audiobook went too, where they had like background noises and stuff, and I was like pretty creeped out by it, honestly.
So. I think it would probably be pretty well received. I think you could do some marketing up front to say that, hey, maybe this isn't really canon. It's more of a what if, or just but I don't know that Disney would ever greenlight a project like that. But they did Deadpool 3, so maybe, who knows?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see also if Deadpool 3 stays true to what 1 and 2 were as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's some language in Deadpool 1 and 2. There's some really shocking
Absolutely.
scenes too, but I mean, as far as the language goes, I mean, that pretty much weeds out a demographic right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, but that's like the thing is like movies like that can be successful, and to me Disney can still do it. It's not like I'm going to be like, "Oh my god, like I'll never look at Mickey Mouse the same because they did Deadpool 3." It's like I can separate the entities because Disney has its hand in so many pots now. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like sometimes you're going to have to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially when the demand is there for, that trilogy to finish up.
Absolutely. So we'll see. I do doubt. Like, I mean, I think it would be pretty cool. I don't know that it's totally necessary because Star Wars can be pretty violent, pretty intense as far as scenes go. We saw
Hmm.
that in Revenge of the Sith and everything. It's like I'd say as far as intensity levels, Revenge of the Sith situations and Rogue One probably have the most, intense scenes I've ever seen in Star Wars, probably.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of death in Rogue One. Like when I took my kid to see it, I'm kind of reminded of like there's a lot of death in this movie. Everybody dies pretty much.
And one thing that kind of shocked me is that they didn't necessarily hide the death either. Um, you know, when Jen and Cassian come back down and are exiting the Imperial base, everyone's still laying there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they are now not dead or something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the fact that they are still in the scene. That's kind of not real. I mean, I know the opening shot of Star Wars, the stormtroopers died, and there were still bodies on the floor when Vader walked through, but that was a few seconds, and this is like quite a bit of time has passed, and you know, there's still that shot is still pretty focused on all the rebels that have died.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of Rogue One, I'm actually looking to buy a Director Krennic Black Series figure because it's an older one,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason I started watching Secret Invasion,
Uh huh.
uh, and I saw the actor who plays Krennic in it, and I'm just like, man, I would love to have a Krennic Black Series figure, and I found one on Mercari for like $12. So
Can't beat that with the stick. I was
yeah.
just talking to a friend of mine. He's in. Goodness, I think he's in Pennsylvania. I can't remember where. Runs a toy store, and he's always sending me stuff that's on sale. He just went to Ollie's and found quite a few Black Series figures. And like I told him, you throw Black Series at me for less than $15, I don't care. I'm probably going to buy at least one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I was near Ollie's pretty recently and I did like a freaking 2-minute run in where I was just like quick to that aisle and it was pretty much uh man, it's the figures you sent me, the ones
Hondo
from
Baba and Dr. Evazon.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. The guys who they like kind of run into in the bar
Mm-hmm.
and A New Hope. Which there was also Jyn Erso was in there, but she was
Oh, man, you had a.
17.
Oh, she was 17. Okay.
Yeah, which like the other ones I think were 12 or 13, but Jyn Erso you can get on Amazon for $11.
Yeah.
You can get the whole Rogue One crew on Amazon for about $60 to $80, I would say. Depends on if you want K2SO in that group, but
Right.
yeah,
He's the
Andor.
one that I think that is still close to full price.
Yep. Yeah, there's demand for K2SO. I mean, just the Lego minifigure I have of him, I think sells for like $50 because it only came in one set.
I think I bought the one that came out recently, but I can't remember if it was K2SO or just an Imperial security droid.
Yeah, the Krennic's Krennic's shuttle came with K2SO, that Lego set, which is over in the corner over there. You can kind of see the wings of it over there.
Very nice.
And I'm pretty sure it came with that one. And that's why it's like I have one Death Trooper Black Series figure. So then I'm like, I wonder what the Death Trooper Black Series figures are selling for on Mercari. So then I'm
the archive one was at that Ollie's.
Really?
Yes.
That's what I have is the archive one.
Yeah. He sent me a picture of the archive Death Trooper and then the archive Tusken Raider is what he got both for $10. Plus this week is
oh my god,
15% off. It's 15% off this week too, off of everything.
Mine is still loaded with Last Jedi Rays, like loaded. Which I bought one of those for you like a year ago to send you actually.
Oh my goodness.
And I still have it here. I've never
hilarious.
said it still.
I went last week and all they had was Pondo Baba and Dr. Evazan and Saw Gerrera.
Which that Saw Gerrera figure for that price, man, I have that on my shelf here. It's one of my favorite figures, honestly. I think the details in it are incredible. I mean, I took that one out of the box. He's sitting on my shelf over here.
I paid full price for that one.
I think, oh no, I got it on the sale, actually. That was a Target sale that I snagged.
And in my defense, I did pay full price. There were 5. I remember going to Target. There were 5 of them, and the guy that was standing in front of me bought 4. So I was like, well, there's one left. I mean,
which honestly, that tells me there's 2 things that either tells me. Number 1, Black Series collecting is declining. That's the only that's number 1. And number 2, Hasbro is not gauging the right figures to make as far as demand goes, maybe. But like, I love this figure. If you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Rogue One fan, especially with how Saw Gerrera is relating to things now too, with Andor and in the animated shows and everything, it's like, I don't know, that figure to me, like I've seen it on sale on Amazon for half price, you know, which is why I'm like, with some of these figures I'm seeing now, I'm like, I want that, but honestly, it seems like everything's going on sale for a considerable cut after it sits on the shelves for a while.
That was a $40 figure?
Yeah, it was, I think, $35 to $40.
35? Yeah, and I saw it at Ollie's for $10.
Yeah, that is crazy. And for anyone who might be watching the YouTube, I'll just grab it. I'll just grab it here real quick because it's sitting on my shelf here. But I mean, this thing is awesome. His cape on the back is freaking sick.
That's a good one.
Like he's got
deception.
Yeah, exactly. He's got
every
the mask.
Day, more lies.
It's an excellent figure that you've got the robotic foot too and everything. And I mean, as far as the face sculpt too, I mean, it's like it is Forrest Whitaker. I mean,
that's a good one.
It's a perfect figure. I mean, I would give this thing a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like he's coming with a lightsaber or any of those accessories, but the detail in this thing is like top tier to me when it comes to Black Series.
I still think their distribution is just terrible. That has to play a big role in it.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what, like, I see odd things because I always check Marvel stuff too, which I rarely buy Marvel stuff, but I always check it just to see what's going on with their stock and everything. My store is loaded with Star-Lord helmets and the Guardians of the Galaxy figures did not sell at all. They're all on sale for $12 and people still aren't buying them. So
yeah, that's tough.
Guardians of the Galaxy did not do well merch-wise. Like, none of that stuff moved off the shelves at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it this? I think, one, it's just also expensive. And I just don't know that the 6-inch figures are a good, outside of guys like us, you know, they're not really a toy anymore.
No, you're definitely right. It's Yeah, I mean, it's a collector's item, but it's like you see the guys in the store like who are looking for that similar stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a price thing without a doubt. I mean, all of the Return of the Jedi like blown up boxes that look like the vintage collection boxes, those are all still stocked as well. I mean, on my shelves, you've got Han Solo, you've got the Gamorrean Guard, you've got Lando, which, I mean, to me, it's like you just had this Lando figure out. Um, I'm not sure exactly what this armor is called, but you just had this figure out in
the Skiff Guard,
Skiff Guard. What is the collection again? You
archive.
said, yeah, you've had this out in the archive, and then I bought it for $7, and then you're going to push it out again with just a different box on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just people aren't going to spend the $24, the full price to get it, just because it seems like everybody collectively, and I even caught this vibe at ICCC from talking to some of the sellers there, is once this started with them, it turned a lot of people off as far as the brand overall goes. So, and for those who couldn't see on podcast, I'm holding up the Luke that has no window in it. It's just a picture of the figure on the cover.
I'm still jealous. I want that figure so bad, but I know. I could order it off of Amazon, but I have adhered. I've been very strict on myself. I made a promise: no pre-orders, no ordering. If it's on the shelf and it, hits the checklist, meets all the criteria, I will buy it. But that Luke, that's a hard one not to order.
I know, and it's, sometimes you see the prices on Amazon, even though it'll have the Prime check on it, sometimes they'll bump them up higher than what the actual price is. I don't really know how that works. I don't know if it's just because the only seller of the figure is like Prime rated and it's not Hasbro who's doing it because they're making, whatever profits off of it. Because, I mean, this Indiana Jones snag that I recently got, this goes for like $40 on Amazon. So, I mean, it's like this whole Indiana Jones hype tour has been so freaking odd to me. They've hardly advertised for this movie coming out. It's Indiana Jones, and it's out today. People are seeing this movie today. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it's like maybe just Disney doesn't have the marketing money. Like, I don't know. It's one of the biggest like IPs. I don't know. Maybe it's not one of the biggest IPs. It's an iconic IP. Like, it's iconic.
Yeah, I get it. You would think, I said it during Mando season 3. We follow this stuff pretty close. And yes, Brent, it is toy time. If you follow Yakface on Twitter, when pre-sales go up, Mandalorians sell out fast, especially Boba Fett. So now you have a series that is nothing but Mandalorians, and you're not pushing that. Though the figures that sell, you don't have a display in the store, a big end cap somewhere. You're not doing weekly. Maybe not even weekly. Every 2 weeks doing a refresh. Everything that you do with Mandalorian figures, such as repainting them and reselling the same ones, this show did for you. They're right there. You don't even have to try that hard. And you're not pushing it. I mean, can you even buy his ship yet, other than like the $500 one? Why is there not a toy version of that?
Yeah, I don't think so, actually.
Why is there no IG-11 with Baby Yoda in the chest? I mean, just seems like you're missing on the easy stuff.
Dude, yes, that Baby Yoda with IG-11, man, I would buy that figure like that if I saw it at full price too. I would buy that one at full price. Which who knows what the hell full price might be for that figure. Right. That's the problem, is they're going to consider that a 2-figure set. They're going to put that out for like $40.
Oh yeah, they were pushing the Andor with his little robot for like $60.
Yeah.
You know, Moff Gideon in his Mandalorian armor. Why is that not on a shelf? The Praetorian Guards, the Imperial Mandalorians. I mean, you had everything. And like you're saying, yes, you have Harrison Ford in his swan song here, and you're not marketing off of that.
Oh shoot. Brent, you're right actually. It is IG-12. No, it is IG-11. You're
Yeah, he
wrong.
wasn't IG-12 until he was rebuilt, but you know, thanks
Is
for
he
playing along.
IG-12 now that he's rebuilt?
Yes.
Do they say that? I see. All right. I'm looking at my
No,
IG-11 to figure
maybe
out.
Brent is right. Did he say he was IG-12 when he first came into the room? Maybe he did. I apologize, Brent. I jumped the gun there. Now I have egg on my face.
I did not notice that. Now I'm like totally thrown off, actually. And Brent's saying he has been seeing the Indiana Jones ads too. I mean, I guess I have too. Maybe it's just because I don't know.
I think it's because growing up, you lived through the prequels and the Pizza Hut, KFC,
The
Pepsi,
hype.
Mountain Dew commercials for episode 1. We kind of expect things like that. But I don't know if this is that movie, but I think you could do a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's Indiana Jones' last ride, like, are they advertising it as his last ride? Are they saying like, take one more chance to step in the theaters with Indiana Jones? Like, years of history behind this story. Like, like an iconic character, Harrison Ford. Like, I don't know. Either that or maybe they've just gone to the well one too many times and people are underwhelmed by it. I mean, I know you said you don't plan to see it in theaters or just see it in
No,
general.
I'll probably watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus. I'm not. I don't really want to be that guy, but I am going to be that guy. I'm not paying that kind of money to go see. Hopefully, I have hope that it's better than Kingdom of Crystal Skull, but I don't have a lot of hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to see it in theaters just because my little guy likes Indiana Jones. He was Indiana Jones for Halloween the past year.
I'm with
So
you.
like I want to have that chance to see it in theaters. And plus Harrison Ford is like awful as it is to say this. He's getting up there. He's age wise. He's in his 80s, isn't he?
I think so.
I mean, we got to appreciate him while he's here. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go to the theater and see it. I mean, we're going on a trip, so who knows? Maybe if we have a rainy day on the trip and something happens, maybe I'll go see it while we're there. But yeah, my like expectations are like very mid level though. I think it'll be cool, but I don't expect to be blown away by it.
I think it'll probably be a great first half of a movie, and like the previous one, not so great second half, which I can live with. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, which in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it's like Harrison Ford looks considerably younger in that one, and he was old when they filmed that.
That was 15 years ago. Yes.
I know. That's crazy, actually. That's crazy. I mean, I was 17 years old when that movie came out. I did see it in theaters, though.
I went to a midnight showing of that.
And what was your reaction when you left the theater of the midnight release?
By the time I got to my car, I was like, damn, that really wasn't very good. I mean, it was what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, in the theater, it seemed like a lot of fun, and it seemed really
delayed
good.
reaction.
Yeah, instant gratification.
Yeah,
and it wore off fast.
Yeah, that was now don't anybody get mad at me, but that was The Last Jedi for me. It was like you know that feeling when you're walking out of the theater and like, yeah, the credits are rolling and you're like, all right, that was cool. It was like, I just remember as I was opening the door to the car, I was sitting there like, well, what's left now? Like, what's going on now? The big bad is dead. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't really want to get into a whole Last Jedi discussion, but I was the same way. I remember Enzo asking me like, what was going to happen next, and I said to him, this is the first Star Wars movie I've ever seen where I kind of don't really even care what happens next. I just, I don't even know how I feel about this movie. I don't know if this is good or it's bad.
Yeah, I think a large amount of people were feeling that way, and that's why that movie will be discussed in Star Wars lore forever. So
Now, I think the weirdest movie or reaction after a movie was probably Infinity War. I think I sat in my car for like 10 or 15 minutes, like without even turning it on, just sitting there. Like
yeah,
I don't really know how to feel after this movie.
that's a crazy one, and that's like a different version though of that feeling though, right?
Right.
Like now, did you feel like that was freaking awesome, but oh my god, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Yeah, and especially since the Infinity Gauntlet was one of my favorite comic runs from that would have been probably the early 90s, I think. I'm probably wrong and somebody will tell me, oh, you're an idiot or whatever, but whatever. So when I first read about this Marvel possibility in movies in like probably 98, 99, somewhere around there, where it was first being mapped out, and then watching the movies come out, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Are they setting up the Infinity Gauntlet? And then it finally, I forget which movie it was that finally had like a end scene with Thanos, like putting the glove on, and he says, "I'll do it." I'm like, "Oh my god, can you? This isn't happening." So even though I was set up for, I knew what was going to happen. It still, when it happened, I was just like,
Yeah,
I can't believe they had the cojones to actually kill off like almost every Marvel character.
yeah, that is crazy. It really is, and I mean, you know what? It's like the vibes of Marvel have been off and been a little weird, lately. But I gotta say, I watched the first episode of Secret Invasion last night, and I really did enjoy it. Honestly, like it felt, I don't know, it feels. I love like that Nick Fury. Like I'm kind of enjoying the idea of seeing Nick Fury just like with the camera on him a decent amount because Nick Fury like there's mystery to his character and like he
Right.
shows up and like you don't get the full on version of him. So, there's a
I
lot of
get
good
that.
actors in this show. Uh the first episode the first episode definitely wrote me in. I mean, I'm a Samuel L. Jackson fan too, so
Who isn't? Yeah. Very easy.
exactly. Will you watch that? Are you going to watch Secret Invasion?
I plan to. I honestly stopped watching Marvel during Hawkeye. And it's not that I don't like it. I just feel like the same way almost that I felt about the Netflix Marvel series. They just seemed like, when you were reading comic books and there's a really good run and it's 6, 7, 8 issues. And then there's right after it's over, there's like 2 or 3 issues of Spider-Man where there may not even be any dialogue in the comic book, and it's just kind of really weird, random stuff, and it's kind of setting up something a little bit. Maybe it's a few issues of filler to get to the next run. That's kind of how I feel like most of the Marvel series are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in them, but for the most part, reading a synopsis of what happens is not really far off from watching the show.
Yeah,
Except for
exactly.
Loki. Loki was badass.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
See, like, and what's funny is I really enjoyed Moon Knight. I mean, I know some people didn't, but like Moon Knight is a random one that I thoroughly enjoyed just because I thought Oscar Isaac did a hell of a job playing the two split personalities of him. Like the finale was a little disappointing to me. Like, I mean, it could have been better, but the thing about Moon Knight is it felt like it didn't fit into everything. It felt like it was its own story, which
Mm-hmm.
I was fine with, because that's the problem with Marvel is you're just like, every time you turn something on. I mean, me and my wife were watching the movie last night, or the show last night, Secret Invasion, and one of the first things the two of us are thinking is like, all right, like, how does this tie into the bigger picture? Because that's what Marvel's turned into, is like, you need to know what's going on with everything if you want to know what's going on in
Right.
the movies or whatever. And really, I haven't seen anything that has to. I don't even know what timeline they're in, honestly, right now in it, because they've mentioned the blip in it. They've mentioned that like Nick Fury's seems like a little bit off ever since it happened, and like, why the hell did you disappear off planet for years? You know?
And I really, as much as excited I was for the Infinity War movies, I really worried about how Marvel would be after. Like, how do you redo this? How do you re-meet expectations? How do you reset the stories? And I think they've done a phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's necessarily as entertaining
Yeah.
as I think you're getting too far away from Iron Man and Captain America.
Yep. And I mean, they chose the perfect casting for pretty much like all of the characters in the original MCU run. It's just like they knocked it out of the park as far as the
Mm-hmm.
casting went for everybody, and that's why I'm enjoying this Nick Fury show, because it's giving me the vibes of that old run. You know what I mean? Because Nick
Right.
Fury was part of the whole thing. So, I'm definitely going to ride out this show. It's like I'm continuing my Marvel run. I literally skip one and watch one. Ever since Disney Plus has been out, I skip one and watch one, and this is maintaining pace, because I didn't watch. Ooh, actually, I skipped two shows. I did not
I,
watch She-Hulk, and I did not watch Miss Marvel, and not for any particular reason. Like, it's not like I was just like, I'm not watching this for X, Y, or Z. I just didn't watch them. Like, I
yeah,
just
I
never
didn't
got
either.
to it.
I need a break from it, and there may be a time when I come back to it, but I don't know. We'll see. And even enjoyed the Netflix Marvel series. I liked Daredevil. I liked the Punisher series, and this is kind of one of the things I don't really care for the series aspect in general. And I know everyone wants to put their spin on it and tell a little bit different story, but like with the Punisher, I really wanted a series where he's the Punisher. I don't want I think yes, the idea is interesting, but a whole like 8 episode run of hey, let's follow Frank Castle when he's not the Punisher, and it's just not as interesting to me.
Yeah. Now,
I I yes, I like Falcon and I wanted him to be Captain America, and I know you have to get to that point, but at some point I just want him to be Captain America. I don't want the Falcon becomes Captain America story.
yeah, which like Anthony Mackie, like I like he's definitely been very real in like when it comes to everything, where he's like I'm me. Like Chris is like did his thing with it and
Yeah.
everything. Like I feel like he hasn't been like you know I don't know. I've just read a lot of interviews with him talking about the position he's in now as being Captain America and everything. And he's just been very real about it. He's
No,
just
I
been
would
like,
agree.
not that he like I really like him as Falcon. I like Anthony Mackie as an actor too. Like I'm not like, but I wish I could read some of these interviews that I've seen, just because he's just been like, some people might not be about it because, Chris was Captain America or whatever. And he's like, I'm Falcon still. Like, we're two different people. So like, I'm not him, it's like, he's a different guy, it's like two different guys. And yeah, I don't know. I wish I could find the interviews that he's had where he's talked about it.
I'm just impatient. I just want him to be Captain America. I want a Captain America movie with him in it. And I know it's coming. So that's on me. I can't really fault the series for not meeting what I want, because that's not what they're trying to do.
Now, I have one question for you. Have you seen the trailer for the Craven the Hunter movie?
My son's been asking me about that. No, I have not. I haven't
Oh
seen
my
it.
God, dude. And now that's Marvel, but I feel like it's not Disney Marvel.
Isn't that Sony Marvel?
It's got to be Sony Marvel because the trailer is brutal for it, dude. It is brutal. I wonder if I could show it on here, but it's like a red band trailer. Like it is like there's a lot of violence. So I won't show it on here because I don't know if that'll get our YouTube channel in trouble.
It's been a killer week at work, so I haven't had much time to watch trailers or anything like that like I usually do.
It was one of those ones where I was sitting there watching YouTube and, preview comes on for a movie between whatever I'm watching. And I'm watching the trailer. And I'm like, I think they showed the Marvel scroll in the beginning of it. And then I see Russell Crowe. And I'm like, Russell Crowe is in this. What the hell? Because Russell Crowe's already been cast in another Marvel movie as Zeus. He was Zeus in Thor Love and Thunder. So he's in this Marvel movie as a totally different character, which is odd to me. I wonder if that's Sony just being like, screw you, we can do what we want with this. We can cast whoever we want.
Chris Evans was Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four.
There you go. That's true. So yeah, it just starts off and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then they like kind of do like some quick origin stuff. And then they show Craven just like hunting people, and good Lord, man, a lot of knives going through heads, and just a lot of hardcore violence, I'll say.
I'm going to look it up now, and I'll watch it as soon as this is over.
Yeah, definitely check it out, because it almost looks like John Wick meets Marvel, is what I'll say. That's kind of the vibes that I got from it. So yeah, but I mean, as far as Star Wars movies go and everything, I mean, I haven't seen much new news, honestly, and it's like we know what shows are coming out.
Ahsoka is next.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're in that in between with Ahsoka, and then the Acolyte will continue to just be like random news stuff. And then I feel like Skeleton Crew is just going to like drop out of nowhere. That one just goes so far on the back burner for people. Like no one ever talks about Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that one's coming out. When is that a winter release?
I'm not sure, but I did recently watch another Jude Law movie called Cold Mountain with Nicole Kidman. Have you heard of that movie?
Yes, I think I've seen that one a few times or two.
Pretty much everyone dies in that movie.
So is he an A-lister or not?
He's an A-lister, man. He shows up in a lot of movies. My brother the other night was just like, yeah, I was watching, oh my God. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on it right now. What is the war movie with the two snipers?
Enemy at the Gates?
Enemy at the Gates. My brother was like, I was watching Enemy at the Gates the other day. I said, hey, Jude Law, huh? And he's just like, yeah, he's really good in that.
Yeah, that's an excellent movie.
I know. Another Jude Law one, Brent.
A-lister for sure.
If he's not an A-lister, he's a B+, man. I just think he's one of those guys who has done a lot of great work in movies, actually, but like just isn't that like big name that you really like. He doesn't get the crowd hyped. I don't know. Like he's really good.
So do you think he's going to be a Jedi in this series?
I don't know. I mean, from the way he's dressed in the little preview I saw, I figured he's probably going to be like smuggler / scoundrel. Like that's kind of what I assumed, seeing that like type of gear that he's wearing. He's got like kind of like a scarf on, and like I could see him being like a guy who's maybe like a smuggler and is going to like try to like keep the kids safe through the galaxy or something like that. Like that. Those are my initial thoughts. Totally uneducated. Do you think he's going to be a Jedi?
I don't know.
He would make a good Jedi. I mean, he's an A-list actor.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got the chops for it, right?
Yes, he does.
Got the acting skills.
Yeah.
I think it could be. I'm really interested to see this whole, what is it, New Galaxy or uh, Beyond Galaxy or something, whatever this unknown regions that they're renaming for Disney Star Wars. I kind of want to see what's going on out in this place, because from the Skeleton Crew trailer, it looked like they were going to some pretty inhabited, built up planet. So I'd always just assumed that was all kind of primitive, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what Disney does with their new stuff. I mean, they gotta throw freaking Batu into something soon. Like, has Batu been in anything?
The video game, and I think some novels, but as far as being seen, no. But wasn't there a reference to the Hammerhead that runs Batu? I don't know. I can't remember. There may be some Easter eggs, but yeah, as far as actually going there, no, I don't. You would think at some point they've got to try to tie that into live action Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Did you ever finish Rebels?
No, I need to.
Yeah, you're probably gonna need to do.
I need to before Ahsoka.
Curious
I
see
to before
what cameos. I know we talked about it this week a little bit in our text chain, but what other Rebels cameos could there be?
Yeah, I need to absolutely finish.
Definitely not Kanan, but
hey, you never know though. Who knows? No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
That's why I kind of when Freddie Prinze kind of trolled Star Wars fans. I was like, I wonder if they're going to do some kind of flashback and he's actually going to play live action Kanan, and he's just doing that just to get people all freaking torqued up and pissed off at him,
Or maybe he didn't get it and that's why he's mad.
I mean, Kanan doesn't really look like Freddie Prinze Jr., I'll say. You know how sometimes the animated character does look like the person who's doing it? Mm-hmm. I need to look at them hand in hand, face to face, side to side, whatever. But I don't know. I don't see a resemblance between the two of them. But I mean, I don't know. Steve Bloom, I can see his face in Zeb, from seeing him in person at ICCC and everything. Just he's a pretty built guy, you know what I mean? And he I could just see his likeness in the character. I got to look at it face to face. Maybe they are more similar than I know, but like I said, I've only watched 2 seasons of Rebels, so I need to get my shit together.
Yeah, get your shit together and watch that children's animated series.
Exactly, right? What's
Take
wrong
lots
with
of
me?
Notes.
That's what I just recently opened. I found a box of the Topps Star Wars cards, which honestly, I think those are hard to find in store, because now I'm I opened a big deck of those and I'm I want to open another one. And now I can't find them anywhere. And I look for them on Amazon. They're $40 and they're $20 in store.
I think cards in general are hard to find, but
I'm a dumbass. I should have bought more than one. But but in the moment, you're not going to think I'm going to go spend $60 on cards,
Yeah, that's not a real conversation I would want to have when I got home.
But it's not just for me. It's for little David as well. Yeah. So,
well, you're using that on, child number 1. I'm on child number 3, still trying to use that excuse. So it doesn't really carry the weight that it used to.
It definitely is. It definitely is entertaining though and stuff. And you know what? I do think the cards are a fun way for him to learn Star Wars, because every card. Here's the thing: is it comes with 10 packs in the deck, which I got screwed. Mine came with 9. So I'm actually going to I never do this, but I'm actually going to email them, because I actually did a real video of me opening the box and pulling the cards out, and there was only 9 inside of it. So I should have had another pack in there.
Yeah, I definitely would. Maybe they'll send you another box.
I know.
I mean, but what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. what's interesting with those is it's you only get 4 cards per pack. So that's the odd thing about it is like, it's like it's compared to like Pokemon cards where I don't know, you get 8 or 10 to a pack
Right.
or something like that. These you only get 4. But I got some awesome characters that I was really excited about. I did get one guy from Resistance where I was just like, I have no clue who this guy is at all.
We'll
Brent
put
would
you in
know.
this pile over to this side.
Yeah, yeah. But it was really cool. I mean, it was the Topps Star Wars Chrome collection, and now they also had a bunch of boxes of cards strictly dedicated to the Kenobi series, which was odd to me. I'm just like, you could buy a pack of 40 where it's 10 separate foil packs to open up for Kenobi, or just Star Wars in general, which I chose Star Wars in general. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, how many cards for the
See,
Kenobi series can there be?
this is where we fall into trouble, DDoc. This all stems. I'm going to place the blame on this on Jack Harvey and him
Yep.
talking up Star Wars cards, because I found myself the other day. I can't remember if I was at Target or Walmart, wherever, and I was checking out, and you know how they have the card aisle right there
Yep.
next to the checkout, and I happened to just out of the corner of my eye saw Boba Fett, and I saw a box of the Book of Boba Fett cards.
Really?
Yeah, and
Dude, you didn't buy them?
it was so hard not to buy them. I could not think of any
I'm
justification
shocked.
I had to buy those.
Well, you could say that you're going to open them up with Azalea and it's going to be good for daughter bonding,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Except
that is.
she
Go ahead.
already knows every character's name.
Exactly. But you need to see who you're going to get, I mean, that's what it is with Pokemon cards for me right now. It's like my son likes the idea of opening Pokemon cards, but it's similar to me when I was a kid. I loved collecting the cards. No clue how to play the game. Like, you just had them.
Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a stack of them. We get Pokemon cards all the time. I've gone through 3 kids with Pokemon cards, so yes, I know about buying those. It's like, whoever came up with this whole blind bag thing, this is a genius idea because kids love doing that.
They do. They do. And then you get the list and you see,
Ooh, this is a super rare. Yeah.
Exactly. But then that super rare or whatever just probably finds its way into a box somewhere where all the other like random little toys are. But it's toys nonetheless, and they do play with them, for a little bit.
Have
They
we
don't last long.
segued into toy time a second time?
We have.
Oh my goodness.
That's just how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I have my eye out all the time. I'm literally like everywhere we go, even if I'm traveling somewhere, if I see a Target, like if we recently visited my wife's uncle in Maryland, and it's like I see a Target there and I can't help but to think, I wonder if this is one of those hot spots where like people aren't hitting the shelves.
I wonder what their Black Series stock looks like in there.
Exactly. I just did a job for my brother near, like, he lives probably 45 minutes to an hour away from me. In the morning, I couldn't, I'm like demoed out his entire kitchen. And in the morning, I could not find where he kept his coffee. And I said, screw it, I'll just go get Starbucks. So I put in a little Starbucks order, go over to the Starbucks, and it is in a parking lot of a mega Target. And I'm just like, I'm supposed to be working on my brother's kitchen right now, but I'm just like, I really want to go in there and see what they have.
Yeah.
And then this is what happens. That's what happens. I mean,
a few weeks ago, my wife texted me right before I left work and was like, hey, can you run over to Plainfield, which is, 10, 15 minutes from where I work, but it's the opposite way, we looking for tires for Azalea's Power Wheel. So sure, yeah, I'll go over there. And the guy was like, well, I can't be over to the shop for like an hour or so. And I was like, sweet, it's right next to a Target. So
there you go.
I pull into the Target, and right as I kill the truck, he texts me back. He's like, oh no, never mind. I'm already back at the shop. Just come on over.
That's how it goes, man. Well, I've been like talking about doing this, and I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to do the unboxing of this Luke live on the show here, and anyone who wants to watch on YouTube later can go watch it. But I don't know. I kind of want to pop it open and have you here to see what's going on inside this box. Me and you can judge this figure as far as like
Let's do
the
it.
packaging goes. I just need my desk here. I'm gonna change my camera around. I'm gonna put it in my little section over here. I kind of wanted to do this with the cards too. Like I thought it would be fun to do with the Topps cards is open them up during the show.
You know, my kids watch people open up Pokemon cards.
You know what? Kids today watch people do everything. It's kind of crazy. What should I do with my mic? I've never done this before, so bear with me. And to the people on the actual podcast listening, go watch this on YouTube, baby. But I'm going to try to get the best angle here. I'm going to turn the light on. This looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're making some good moves here. I mean, right here I have my Hogsmeade village that I just built from Lego Harry Potter, which this thing was freaking awesome. That's my Father's Day gift right there. But all right, how can I angle this here? Let's angle it down a little bit more. Make sure I'm good on the mic. All right. So I know that these are in like wax paper when you open it, right?
Yeah.
Wax paper and whatever else. Like this is going to be so odd to me. It's just like so weird.
Cardboard slot and the figure's wrapped.
All right. So for those of you listening, I'm opening the Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker, Imperial Light Cruiser. This is Luke when he shows up in the hallway scene of The Mandalorian. So they advertise constantly on this box that they don't use any plastic on the packaging, even though the figure inside of it is made totally out of plastic. Regular slots on the top that you open. All right. Where's our mummified Luke in here? Here he is. All right. There it is. All right. We have Luke, and he looks like he is a mummy wrapped in wax paper. We got a separate package here, which is Luke's lightsaber. So I'm going to open that bad boy up first. It's like in wax paper.
Yeah. I just opened up that Mara Jade that I got at ICCC, and the lightsaber was broken.
Really?
Yes.
Dude. That's devastating. Hopefully this is not broken. All right, here's Luke's lightsaber, which kind of bent. Yeah, it's a little bent. All right. Looks good, though.
Yeah, just doesn't have that plastic keeping it straight, that mold that it snaps into.
That's the thing. I mean, you can see that the hilt is kind of like the top end of the hilt is bent. Like when I spin it around, you can see how bent it is. Is this Dooku meets Luke right here? I mean, geez. That kind of sucks. But yeah, and it's not even like the See, now when these are I need to look at some of my other stuff, but when these are in packaging, is the lightsaber usually detached from it or no? Is the blade usually detached or is it usually on?
It's all usually one piece.
All right. This is just bent. I'm kind of nervous to bend it into place because I don't want to break this. Yeah, I mean, Luke's Return of the Jedi hilt is like thin at the top, but all right. I mean, that's good. I mean, I don't know. This is really weird. All right, and let's take out mummified Luke. Let's see if we have anything wrong with this. It's in Star Wars like wax paper. So I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. I guess you could save the wax paper if that's what you're into. But, oh, damn. Yeah. That looks excellent.
Yeah, that's a great looking figure.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. All right. Yeah, you can put the hood up. That's what I love about this is it actually comes with the cloth hood and everything. That's what I love the most about my Witcher figure that I have. He has like an awesome hood. So you can kind of set this up with it. I mean, I always have a hard time getting the freaking lightsaber into their hands.
Same.
It's not really like the hand molds are not very conductive to getting it in because you have this like open hand at the top. Almost looks like he wants to be squeezing a trigger on that. You know what I mean? So like what's the strategy like to get it in here? Do you bend the bottom fingers and then slide it in that way, or like
I usually go from the bottom.
This is a hard one to get in, dude.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I was waiting on it. I threw it right down the middle and you knocked it out of the park.
All right, I'm just bending his fingers out. Screw it. This is how things break, though. I mean, this is what happened with my Jon Snow McFarlane figure. I bend his fingers and was trying to get the sword in, and freaking Longclaw broke in half. I was just like, damn it.
But it's Valyrian steel. It can't break in half.
I know. Well, it got Valyrian super glue added to it, so.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. All right. Figure rating is 10 out of 10 on this. The face mold, everything about it is freaking perfect. I'll definitely like pose this in a more badass way than the way it is now because these capes are always odd to mess with. They can look really stupid sometimes, or you can make them look really cool. So
I gotta find that one. I gotta find it.
Yeah.
It killed me that I could not believe there was not one single one of those at ICCC.
Yeah, that is crazy, actually. I mean, it's wild. That's why I'm going to try to definitely get this set up. Like, I'm going to go look at the pictures of that hallway scene and try to really replicate that pose. And definitely he's going to be going on the shelf behind me here because that's where I have.
With the lightsaber behind his back and the hand extended forward.
Absolutely.
That's actually my screensaver at work.
Yeah, that's a dope screensaver. That's like, I mean, it's sweet. This is I can't say it's my first Luke Skywalker figure, but it's my first Luke Skywalker figure with a lightsaber. I have the Yavin ceremony Luke, which that one is, he just has his blaster in the metal with that one. He does not have a lightsaber in that one. And that's the Luke Skywalker figure where they spelled his name wrong on the box.
I always liked that figure because, he's wearing Han Solo's pants. He has Princess Leia's blaster and then the gold jacket. Which, I mean, granted, he didn't, take anything. He didn't grab an overnight bag or anything when he left Tatooine. He just had his farm boy clothes on.
Now, is that like a thing in the movies? Like did he like borrow their gear technically? Because you're right, he is wearing Han's pants there. I've never even noticed that before. Yeah. I never even thought about that. I always knew it was a different outfit, but
yeah, he's wearing the same style pants with the Carillion blood stripes on the side.
Exactly. Which, like, I would have loved to see a freaking scene with Luke fighting someone in that outfit. That would have been badass. Like, right when they left the ceremony, they got into a freaking scrap with someone.
Man, I hate that I know this, but the Star Wars, God damn, what do you even call this anymore? The comics that are in the newspaper?
Okay.
There was a Star Wars run, at that time, and the Empire attacks right after that.
Really?
Yeah, and he flies some really weird spaceship with a super gun on the front of it. They were really out there, but even more so than the Marvel comics.
So like that's kind of close to it. I mean, this fabric definitely takes some messing with because it is a big freaking cloak on him. Like I'll probably tuck it into some of the seams like I did on my Witcher figure because sometimes they look better when you do that. But I'm putting the positive vibes out there that you're gonna find it. I'm sorry
I
kind of
appreciate it.
I kind of spoiled the unboxing of it
I
for you.
mean, you're I'm getting really itchy here on Amazon, but I can't. I've done really well for a long for me. Okay, a long period of time as far as not ordering and no pre-orders.
You know, you can get it. Just blame it on DDoc. Just say, DDoc told me that I earned it. You know, I've been really good lately, and he said you can just get this one, and then you can go back to being good.
Then I can go back to. I'll see how that works out.
So now with this, I guess I'll just.
You're not gonna, but the box art, man.
Yeah, What's hilarious is the face mold on this figure looks so much better than the picture on the box art.
Yes, I would agree. Just looking at it through the screen, it looks a lot better.
It's honestly the best. It's insane, actually, like how well done this face mold is. Like my camera gets all blurry whenever I put it up close, but it's like this face mold is freaking perfect. Like it is spot on. So I don't know. I don't think that I might be lagging or something, but I don't think that the pictures in the box art that they put on these boxes is an actual picture. I think it's like an AI generated or like computer generated photo. It's not even a real picture of the figure. They don't look similar at all, the two pictures on here. I mean, obviously he's got the cloak, he's got the lightsaber, everything, but like the face mold just looks better in person. Which like this thing would have looked so freaking good in a clear box. How good would this figure have looked in a clear box?
It would have looked really good. Well, you know what? Let's take it even a step even further. Not only would it have looked really great in a clear package, but could you imagine if it had been on the shelves the week after he appeared on The Mandalorian?
Oh my God. I mean, well, how long ago was that now?
It was like 3 years ago, something like that.
3 years ago. 3 years ago, and we're just getting this. So, I mean, figure after Filoni's movie is in theaters, we'll probably be getting figures from Mando season 3. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you think about Kenobi was how long ago, and today they just finally released the damaged Darth Vader.
Yeah. Which that thing looks incredible.
Yeah, still no Kenobi in the adventure outfit from the end. You know, I saw today. God, we were really talking about toys today.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what we like. We're toy guys. I mean, it's all right. Some of the guys who listen to us are toy guys as well. So maybe we'll inspire someone to get into the terrible addiction.
Even though I have a strict no ordering policy, people keep telling me about these prices on Amazon. So I get on there and look. And the first thing I see is this new Kenobi figure that finally came out. And I had to go back and look. And is it any different than the previous two from the Kenobi show?
I thought it was the same, actually.
I know I have two already. Now there's a third.
And the other two actually went on sale. So they went on big sale. All right, I'm going to bring it up actually on our screen here for the live stream and for the YouTube if anybody's interested. But I wanted to see if this is the figure you're talking about because I've been seeing it. Hopefully I'm not like sharing all of my personal information. Is this the
Yeah.
one you're talking about?
Yeah, I think this is the third one.
Now I thought they already made a figure for that like scene though. That's the thing. Like I thought they sold the Wandering Jedi.
Which one came with Lola? I have one with Lola and then a second one that didn't.
Oh man. I have them on my shelf somewhere. Where is this? I need to find it now for a second. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the delay, but this is the one that I thought was that scene, but I guess he was wearing a darker robe for that scene.
Right.
I have the Wandering Jedi one, so I guess that's not it then. I mean, it's a nice looking figure, you know, it's definitely solid. Is the face mold different? It actually is. It's a new face mold. They did a different hair for it. Because that is not the same hair on this figure.
No, it's different.
They gave him more flow. They gave him a lot more flow. But I mean, look at this, Alfie. Are you going to buy this guy for $34 here?
Absolutely fucking not.
But you can change his face.
It is not worth that amount of money.
You can change his face. I mean, come on. $34, baby. I mean, they got to be, I don't know. And then you got this Leia figure for $7.
Wow,
Endor Leia. Or, yeah, Endor Leia, Ewok Village Leia is $7. It's crazy. And there's Jedi Luke waiting for Alfie to buy him right now. I don't know. I'm being bad right now. I'm encouraging you to go to the dark side. I mean, if you're a Star Wars Black Series figure fan, I mean, I love to find these on shelf. What the hell is this? What is this?
Oh, we took a turn.
What? Yeah, if you're watching the live stream right now, there's a picture of Jar Jar Binks jacked up with the 6-pack and muscles, and it's a 12-inch by 8-inch tin poster that you can put on the wall. Now, would I have that on the wall behind me for Rule the Galaxy podcast? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I would buy that, actually.
It's pretty hilarious.
I mean, it's funny because it's like the first page of like all of the Star Wars Black Series figures, and then you just have this mixed right into all of it. That is absolutely hilarious. You've got the Din Djarin figure where he's in the Morak gear. That one is on sale for $17. Yeah, Chewbacca, $17.
I got that Chewbacca at Ollie's for $10. I think that's one of the few Din Djarin figures I do not have.
Yeah, I do not have that one either. I don't have him in his full-on Beskar either, just because I did the I built the Bandai model of him with his full Beskar on. But here's that Death Trooper for $17. And that's what I'm kind of wanted to do is I'm like, I already have one Death Trooper. If I get another one and I get Krennic, I could set them up on the shelf with Krennic standing there and with 2 Death Troopers standing right behind him. And I'm like, that would look freaking sick on the shelf.
That would be sick.
Yeah. And then they have a freaking offer on Mercari where someone was selling 2 Death Troopers for like $19. So then I'm like, well, then I would have 3 Death Troopers, but then it would be an odd number. So then I would need 4. So I just need to get one more. That Death Trooper was the first ever Black Series figure I ever bought. And it was because of this podcast and listening to you guys.
Well, yeah, Joe's the one who got me into Black Series, so I'm going to blame him.
I blame him
He's
too.
been the start of it since we were little kids, DDoc.
I believe it. I believe it. So, well, we had some fun tonight, man. I mean, as far as toy talk goes, we definitely hit
All
it
we did
pretty
was talk
heavy.
about Star Wars toys and Marvel. Oh, God.
Yeah, but if you're into that stuff, we hit it great. We covered all tracks, That's what we do. I mean, there's like as far as Star Wars news goes, there's always something happening, which I mean, this last week I feel like it wasn't any earth-shattering crazy stuff, it was regular gossip kind of stuff and some set pictures from Andor and all that fun stuff. I mean,
yeah, good job on calling out that set. It was kind of a off the wall one. I mean, it's only in the Phantom Menace for a few seconds.
I don't know why I saw that and I was just like, is that the area where they like pop up in the Gungan ship and just hop out? Like, I don't know why. I just like, I saw that and that was the first thing that came to mind. I promise you, I did not Google anything at all either. I was just like, let me just throw it out there and see if that's what it is. And I could not believe it. That's that scene. So, spoiler alert, we might be going to Naboo and Andor, which would be freaking awesome because we know that Andor gets twice the budget of any other Star Wars show apparently.
Right.
So they should do it really nice.
Yeah. And if you're going to Naboo, I mean, didn't we just set up that, what is his name? Keller. I don't know. My mind just went blank. Okay. Jedi Jar Jar just went to Naboo, right? With Grogu?
Yes.
So, and like I said earlier, I think the Princess Leia comics set up that Saw Gerrera has a rebel cell on Naboo.
Dude, that would be freaking awesome. Now, I'm trying to imagine this would be Naboo like years and years after Phantom Menace and everything, correct? So like this would be a much different Naboo. Like
Almost,
right?
Yeah, almost 20 years, I think.
Because like
after the Phantom Menace, so yeah, longer than 20 years.
Yeah. Because Naboo, it's not like they've ever said in Star Wars lore that Naboo was taken out, right, by the Death Star or anything, right?
No, Naboo shows up in the special edition of Return of the Jedi at the end.
Really?
You literally just saw that in the theater like a month ago.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, at the celebration scene at the end of it, of course. I should have said Star Killer Base, actually. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll never get over, by the way, that they changed the Yub Nub celebration at the end of Return of the Jedi, because that was me and my brothers. Probably like if you could go back to my number one memory of Star Wars as a kid was watching the end of Return of the Jedi and the Yub Nub song they would sing. We would always mess around and sing that song. And that was like part of the thing that made us fall in love with it was that song at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the visuals in the special edition I like. As far as the celebration goes, I don't care for the alternate view of the Ewok celebration. That weird camera angle that they use in the special edition where it's like above looking down and then like there's kind of like a behind the group that they use a lot, and it really makes it look like C-3PO and Wedge are dancing on a set rather than it did in the original cut.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah, I don't like the song as well as the first one, but I do like, if you're thinking back to it, that was setting up the prequels. Like that was the shot of, hey, this is what the prequels is going to be like right here.
Exactly. Yeah, it was the hype show. I mean, it was the whole galaxy celebrating everything happening. So it makes sense. It's not like that's definitely not something that I would say like doesn't make sense to add into it, because it does. But technically all of that's for nothing because the First Order's coming, baby. What did they want? What were they
What,
trying to
what
do?
was your like goal here? Like, what were you trying to accomplish?
Why
Just
would they not put Naboo in the sequel trilogy then? Because it's there, like that planet is there for the taking. That would have been so cool to see Naboo in the sequel trilogy, actually. It's such an awesome planet.
yeah, it was a really good one.
I just have more love for it after doing the Plagueis book, like, and just knowing like the history of Naboo and everything in that book. Like,
All right. You know me pretty well by now, and I'm sure the people who listen to our podcast know me pretty well by now, how obsessive I am about this stuff. Okay, the way technology is now and everything's so easy. Can you imagine me in 1999 with a dial-up computer and little like random spy set pictures? You know, I was going out of my fucking mind with this shit. You know, I I had to go to the university library, you know, where I went to college because those were the only computers like that had fast enough internet connections to like download the pictures that people were taking. You know, I can
that is
remember
crazy.
like you know for weeks obsessing over because someone had gotten a picture of the droid tank and leaked it. It's like, oh my god, what is this? What could it be? What's it do? You know, and yeah, it was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. You know, this
Uh,
explosion of technology and what you were able to, you know, harness with it and what you were able to share and
I just remember my thoughts as a kid being like, why were there like it's funny because now that I'm older, I understand it, but I'm just like, why were their ships better and cleaner back then? I'm like, it doesn't make sense. This is older and they had cleaner ships and the technology looked better. But then I realized that it turned into a rebel cell because they didn't have all the money and everything involved. Like
right.
it was like you're using beat up, X-wings and everything. Like
Right. And the empire was industrialized and just spitting out mass quantities of cheaply made products.
exactly. Yeah. So now that would be a hell of a movie with the Rogue Squadron movie is them developing the X-Wing and being like, we have this new ship called the X-Wing. Like, how freaking awesome would that be? And they're test driving it or something. Like, I mean, that would be freaking badass.
That would be pretty good. Experimental aircraft going on, you know, their first mission.
I mean, did the X-Wing technically exist during the prequel trilogy?
No.
I mean, all you saw was the net. Like, I mean, maybe it did
The
somewhere out in the
X-Wing
galaxy.
was created I can't be for sure without really reading into it, but the X-Wing as we know it I think was made in response to the Empire not being willing to buy more advanced starships from that company. So they made it for the rebellion and sold
Ooh,
it to them.
dude, see now that's an awesome plot line right there. You
Right.
start off the movie going into the freaking shop that's making it. Literally opening scene of the movie is them just being like the empire is not, doesn't want to fork up money, whatever, blah blah blah. And then it's just a guy who's just like, I've got a new prototype. They're just like, let's send it to the other side. And then they like pull a freaking tarp off it. It's just the X-Wing sitting there. And then the
Yeah.
Top Gun theme plays,
I like it.
Game over. I mean, I could write this stuff, but I wouldn't do it because I'm on strike.
I don't think we're part of the guild, so I think we can write all we want.
That's true. That's true. I'm not in any guilds. I mean, I would like to say I'm in some kind of guild. I'm in the Rule of the Galaxy podcast guild. That's what I'm
It's a very small guild.
in. But it's a guild nonetheless. It's created tonight. That should be the name of the episode, the Rule of the Galaxy podcast guild. We're all part of a guild. And I'm not
I like
trying
it.
to troll the writers or anything like that. I don't understand or know any of it that's going on. So don't think that I'm taking any kind of stance on this writer strike because I have no clue what the hell is going on.
Yeah, me either.
So All right. Well, that was a fun one, Alfie. It was fun just chopping it up. I knew we were going to hit Toy Talk tonight. I knew it was inevitable.
It's inevitable.
So, especially with a live unboxing on the show, I hope if you guys were listening, I kind of gave you the visual of me opening the mummified Luke. But I'm honestly really happy with the figure. But like I said, it takes Luke Skywalker hallway scene to get me to buy one of those. Like it really does. That's what it takes to get me to that point. And also for you, like I know Mara Jade is like a huge like character, like as far as you guys go when it comes to like favorite characters. So it's like to me, it's like you need to have top tier guy for me to buy it, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is a little unsettling not knowing how the figure is going to be inside the box. Like
I don't like that one bit. I did open up. I got the vintage collection Boba Fett, the one that came with all the Stormtrooper helmets, and it was twisted in the box, almost to the point of snapping in half.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because from the way the wax paper looks on it, I don't know if they have a machine do that or what, because it was wrapped pretty tightly around it and it looked kind of like machine possibly did.
Yeah. That's the way this one looked. Like it had wrapped and then kept wrapping and it had spun it around another turn.
Well, luckily they announced that they're not doing it anymore. They're going back to the Windows. So
you're going back to, biodegradable plastic or recycled plastic, I think.
Exactly. That's, we can live with that because the freaking boxes they made before were incredible. So that's all we need right there. That's all we need. Just a little window. Maybe if you want, go up to here, run it up to that level. And maybe like, I don't know. There's ways you can see the figure without using a ton of plastic. So what can I say? So do you have any closing thoughts for the episode tonight, Alfie?
I really want that Luke Skywalker Black Series figure. I'm going to have to find it. I actually made a joke to my wife this evening about getting on Google Maps and checking out how many Targets and Walmarts will pass tomorrow.
Dude, you got to do some hunting. If you do some hunting, make a little TikTok out of it or something. All right.
I'm going to make one. I told her the kids that is my goal though. While we're there, is to find something in one of the stores in the Great Wolf Lodge Star Wars.
Yeah,
I have to find something.
I bet you can. I mean, I bet you will. I mean, Star Wars is everywhere, so. It's that's one of the fun things I've had with traveling is like, especially with the kids now, we travel more, it's fun to do that stuff. And it's like, I like to kind of look around the area. When we were in Nashville, I was like looking around at like comic book shops or toy stores around us, but like we were at the ICCC. So I wasn't going to double down and go to a store while we were there.
It was like when we got in the car with Lori and Joe, like she said she went to Walmart.
Like, they have a good Black Series?
Yeah, did you check out the Black Series guys while you're there?
Exactly.
Can we go back?
Gotta love it. So, hey, man, that's Star Wars fandom. That's why we can, that's why even if there's light news, we can still talk for an hour and a half about it and still have fun. So, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Rule the Galaxy podcast. From DDoc and Alfie, you can follow us on Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter, Rule the Galaxy podcast on TikTok. I'm finally posting on there again. I finally shook off the little funk and started posting on there again. I'll be posting a review of this Luke Skywalker figure on there tonight, probably, because I'm going to check this out a little more after we're done this show. And from DDoc, from Alfie, until the next time, may the Force be with you.